So anyway, I was telling this girl, oh, sorry, I'll have a water, please. Shaken, not stirred. So yeah, as I was saying, there was this girl and... Oh, hello. I'm a rich person. You must be here to know all the details on how to keep the poor people out of your neighborhood. Well, you came to the right place, my friend. Hello, fellow rich person. It's time to teach you how to get the poors out. Like the title screen says, there are, of course, a variety of ways you can go about such a monumental task, honestly. And we're going to talk about a few of them from some laws you can put in place, some actions you can take, and maybe a few ways to keep them poor so they don't join us in the upper echelons of society. Come on, fellow rich person. You are a rich person, aren't you? And let's go have some fun. Don't worry, it's not my laundry. It's my maid's. I'm clogging her laundry machine. So, well, where do we start? I have a great idea. So you're probably asking, wait, isn't this a violation of homelessness thing, like, basically an infringement on human rights? And to that I say, yeah, of course it is. But, like, what's anyone gonna do about it? Whatever. Moving on, though. Basically, or by they, I mean the United Nations, declares that, human rights include the right to housing. And, not to be poor, but like, bro, you didn't make it. Oh, you get me. Anyway, now to talk about how to actually get rid of those pesky people that keep infringing on your picket fences and suburban lawns. So to start off, there's these things called ban on camping. Basically, I'm gonna be saying that a lot. You know how those poor people sleep in tents if they don't have a house? Well, basically, a public ban on camping prohibits anyone from being outside in a tent. And that also includes the people who can't afford houses. As they say in the biz, we do an insignificant amount of tomfoolery. I think. I don't know what kids do these days. Nonetheless, such bans can force poor people to find other places to reside. Should we go take a look at those as well? Another way would be keeping people from sleeping under interstates, which also takes away another avenue of shelter. And then, other things you could do are implement laws and utilize a heavily militarized police force to arrest people for minor offenses such as drug usage, which puts those people without homes into a temporary home. A private prison, which you can profit off of. So, like, that's also a nice criminalization of poverty. Because, fudge the pause. Oh. And we were not kidding about those numbers of people that have been to prison. Over half the homeless community in the United States has been to a prison at least once in their lives. And that doesn't just apply to the homeless, it also applies to other unsavory communities in the United States that aren't oppressed by law, but like, they got the short end of the stick. So, you can utilize those heavily militarized police forces and little to no systems of accountability and zealous crusade on drugs to keep those unsavory elements out of your white picket fence gated community. Another thing, my friends in high places, is the fact that many local municipalities do not adhere to the Supreme Court decision Bearden v. Georgia, which covers the individual's ability to pay off debts, relying around a certain bona fide effort to pay. Essentially what that means is if a person is unable to pay, they can be incarcerated and be kept in that prison because of their inability to bail out, which is essential in the American justice system. Who would have thought that having money meant you could get out of legal consequences? Certainly not I. And if any of that doesn't work, legal consequences and the like, you can always resort to more home-brewed methods, such as the application of hostile architecture. I'll tell Jimmy to put in his little slide here.
Seems in tune on a spring afternoon when we're poisoning pigeons in the park. Every Sunday you'll see my sweetheart and me.
So you see this? That is a perfect example of hostile architecture. The application of things such as spikes and railings in insignificant places that make it hard for homeless people to sleep on benches or in shaded areas by J.C. Penney's. And it's all around helpful for business, honestly. So like, invest in it if you could. One man in England was impaled by a bench, if you can believe it or not. What a silly fellow, imagine doing that. Anyway, another example why you should add it to your perfect rich estates. Shh, it's the IRS. Anyway, if you actually followed all the steps in this video, then congratulations, you are on your way to becoming the world's coolest rich person, and in doing so have violated the right to housing, as well as criminalizing poverty as a whole. So, I'll leave it to you to enact these measures and make sure that your neighborhood is poor person free.